Tuesday, October 28th. This is the STUG, Sarasota Technology Users Group. It's a class on Zoom, and it's a class on basic Windows. My name is Jim Cerny. I'm the Vice President of STUG, and you are welcome to attend the class, watch the video later, and hopefully become a member of STUG. And our topic for today, we're going to continue with our study of the Windows app called Windows File Explorer. Our last class, our previous class, was on the 14th of October, and we opened up Windows Explorer, File Explorer, which I'm going to do now. The icon looks like a folder. And if you open it, you get something similar to this. Okay, and I'm going to go to Documents just to have a place to start with. And we'll do a real quick 5-minute review of what we covered on our previous class, okay? We learned in our previous, oh, by the way, if there's any questions at any time, please feel free to unmute yourself and interrupt me, because I am not going to be looking at the views of the people attending. I have my full screen for my class, and so I need you to interrupt me to ask a question or make a comment. Your comments are welcome too, because, excuse me, as we get into this, you'll learn that there's 3 or 4 ways of doing the same thing, okay? So what did we study last time and go over last time in our class? Well, we talked about the Windows File Explorer app. And for some reason, it doesn't tell you at the top of the window when you open the Windows File Explorer app, it does not show you Windows File Explorer in the title bar. I wish it did, but it doesn't. But it does show me over here the folder that I'm on, which is Documents. The left pane is a list of folders, only folders. There are no files in the left pane, and you can click on any folder you want, and the contents of that folder will be displayed in the right pane. So if I click on Documents, I am in the Documents folder, and I can see all the folders, and if I scroll down, the files that are in the Documents folder. Okay, so the left pane is just folders. The right pane is the contents of a folder. And how do you know what folder you're looking at? Well, if you click on the folder, it's highlighted in the left, and that shows you what folder is listed, the contents in the right. You can also look at the path name up here. If I open a folder here, such as STUG folder, double click it, click. It opens that folder, and you can see in the path name, I'm in the Documents folder, and in that folder, I'm in the STUG folder. And the STUG folder contains more folders as well as files. Now, Documents over here is highlighted in gray because there's an arrow next to it. I click the arrow, and I get another Documents, and click that arrow. And now I get the same list of documents that are indented under Documents, that if I clicked on Documents, I get the same list, exactly the same. Okay. And if I go over here and click on the STUG folder, I get the contents of the STUG folder displayed over here. And look at the path. I'm in Documents, and in Documents, I'm in the STUG folder. And the STUG folder is highlighted here. So if you see a folder in the left pane that has an arrow next to it, the arrow indicates that that folder contains more folders. So if I click on Jim's Publisher Files, there's an arrow next to it. If I click the arrow, it lists over here the folders indented that are in Jim's Publisher Files, and the arrow is pointing down. If I click the arrowhead again, the arrow is now pointing to the right, and the contents of the Jim's Publisher Files folder is, click on it, it's over here. And if I click on the arrow, I can see the Christmas folder that's inside Jim's Publisher Files folder, which is the same folder over here. If I click on Christmas, I get the contents of the Christmas folder. And there's no arrow by Christmas folder because Christmas folder does not contain more folders, only files. Okay. The other thing that we discussed last time is the different views. You can pick any of different views that you want. Okay. I have the details pane checked. And there it is. Let's go to view. We'll uncheck the details pane. Oops. There should be a way. I'm not seeing my whole file. There we go. Details and eliminate it. So the details icon will show or not show the details pane. You don't need to show the details pane because if you go to any file or folder and you right click on it, you get the details. You can click on properties and get anything you want to know about that file or folder. Properties. Okay, in the view, I said there was only 2 views that I use. Let's go back to the STUG folder again. And the 2 views I use is I use the detail view, which is this list of files and folders that you see. I like it because it has name, date modified, and type and size column headings. And you can sort. See, the arrowhead is here in name. If I click it, the arrowhead's pointing down and it's listed by name alphabetically, but opposite from Z to A, folders first and then files. Click again, and now it's sorted A to Z, folders and then files. The only other view I ever use beside the detail list view is the medium icon view. And I only use this view for photos. If I go to some old photos here and I do the view and change it to medium icons, I can actually see a thumbnail of the photos. Maybe you'd like to use larger icons and see the views. Oh, what a cute kid. Well, let's get off of that and go back to the start folder. Okay. So again, the view I like most is the detail list view. And for photos, small or large icons. One thing I didn't cover that I'd like to very quickly is you notice when I move my mouse to a different file or folder, there's a little box over here that I can click on to highlight or select that file or folder. You may not see those little boxes. I'm going to show you how to get to those little boxes. And that is back to the views. And I can go to show. And here we have the choices that I have. Notice I've clicked on navigation pane, which is this pane over here. If I go to show navigation pane and click on it again, it will remove the check mark. and remove the navigation pane, which I do not like. I like to have the navigation pane. So I go to View, Show the navigation pane. View, Show item checkboxes. If I click that to turn it off, I no longer get the boxes next to my files or folders. I do like that, so I normally turn that on. Show item checkboxes. When we get into moving and creating folders and moving things around and copying and deleting and renaming, you don't have to have the checkboxes turned on to do any of that. They just make it a little bit more convenient to do things. And we'll get into that when we start playing around in just a minute. Show file name extensions. Okay, what's a file name extension? .doc is a file name extension. .docx, that's a file name extension. The file name extension indicates what app or what program or what software was used to create the file. Doc and docx indicates that that file is a Word document. Well, it tells me to type in the type column anyway. There's the Word document. And this is a .rtf, which means it's a rich text format document. Well, you can have an option to display or not show the file extensions. And you do that with View, Show, File Name Extensions. If I click on it, it will turn that off. And you will see I will no longer get the file name extensions, but in the detail list view, I can see what the file extensions are in this column. But I like to have the file extensions on. So I do View, Show, File Name Extensions. So once again, in the View menu, and this is Windows 11, it's a little different in Windows 10, but the options are the same. You just have to find them. I go to Show. I like having the navigation pane, which is this pane over here. I like having the item checkboxes so that I have checkboxes next to my files and folders. And I like having the file name extensions. Okay. Let's see what else from the previous class I have in my notes here. I think that's about it. Okay. You notice if I move my mouse onto a file, I get a box that gives me details about that file. Okay, it even tells me the path name in the box, which is nice. So you can get the details, the real details of any file and folder just by putting your mouse on it, and a box will appear with the detailed information. Okay? Are there any questions about what we covered the previous class? Okay, hearing none, we'll now start playing around with Windows File Explorer. We looked at how to look at the different views, how to make it appear in our screen, and there's many different options for that. But now we're going to start playing around. So I have a folder I created, and I will go there. And let's start completely over, just for fun. I'm going to X out of File Explorer. Okay, a brand new start. I want to get to a folder that I can use to show you how to move things around and play with things in File Explorer. So I'm going to open File Explorer, and I'm going to go to Documents here, which is pinned, but I can also go to the same documents by going to Documents here. Okay. And in that folder called Documents, there's a folder called STUG folder. Now I can click on the arrow here and I can go down and scroll down to the STUG folder here and click on it. Or a different way to do the same thing, if I don't have the folder listed for under Documents in the folder pane, I just have Documents, I can go over to the contents of the Documents folder, which is over here, and go down to STUG folder. And I could double click it here to open it. Click, click. And now I've opened the STUG folder. The contents of the STUG folder is over here, and I can see the path up here. Okay, I'm going to open teaching files. And this is how you navigate. You go to the folder you want, either in the left column by clicking on the arrow and getting down to the folder you want, or click on the folder to open it, and you can go through and open the folder over here. Either way, it'll work. Okay, we'll admit through King here. Okay, so now we have something I can play with. What I can do to any file or folder now is I can select that file or folder. I'll just select files for now. But what I'm showing you with what you can do with a file, you can do with an entire folder by clicking on the entire folder. Okay, I'm going to click on a file, and now I can move that file to any folder I want. Okay, I can show the folder over here, go to my folder list. And here's the class teaching folder. If I want to move this file into this folder, all I have to do is put my mouse on it, hold down the left mouse button, and drag. And now look what it says in the below the box. Notice very carefully, it says move to class teaching folder, or move to mixed bag of files, or move to Windows 10 folder. I have not let up my mouse button. I'm still holding it down. So while I'm holding it down, I can go to any folder over here and it will scroll up or down to find the folder I want. And then when I want to move it there, I would let up the mouse button. And I'm going to move it into this For Caitlin folder. Well, yeah, that's a good place. And I let up the mouse button, and now the folder is gone from here, but I have moved it to the For Caitlin folder. And if I go there, it will be there. Let's say I want to move it back. I can open up the For Caitlin folder, and I can find that file. I think it was this one. I forgot the name of it. That happens, huh? Okay, so I can put my mouse on this file, hold down the left mouse button. Oops, wait, there we go. And drag it. And okay, highlight it, put my mouse on it. And I can drag it and drop it into the STUG folder. And it will be back in the STUG folder. Okay, Maybe I lost a little bit of clarity on doing it that way. Let me open a new folder in the STUG folder here, in the teaching files folder. I have two folders there already and some files. Let's say I want to create a new folder. Well, I can just go to New and click Folder, and there it is. So to create a new folder, you should be in the folder in which you want to create the new folder. That just makes it a lot easier. Can you create it in any folder? Yes. And then if it's not in the right folder, you can move it to the right folder. But here I just clicked on new folder. Here it is. I'm going to give it a name. We're going to call it temp folder for fun. Okay. I give it a name by typing a name, and then I click outside the box. Click. And it takes the folder name and it puts it alphabetically in its place. What's in that folder? What do you think is in there?
Nothing.
Nothing. How do I know that? Well, let's open the folder and see. Click, click. This folder is empty. Okay. Look at the path up here. I'm in Documents, Start folder, in the Teaching Files folder, and in the Temp folder for fun, and there's nothing in it. If I want to go back to the STUG folder, yeah, I can click over here, but I can click right up here too. And I'm back in the STUG folder and into the Teaching Files and the temporary folder for fun that has nothing in it. So now let's put some things in there. I can take this file and drag it and drop it into that folder. I can take this file and drag it and drop it into that folder. Now when I open the temp folder for fun, those are the two files I put in there. Remember, everything I'm showing you about moving files, you can move folders as well. You can put a whole folder into another folder. Okay. Now, let me show you how to do a copy instead of a move. When we did a move, what we did is we highlighted or clicked on the file or folder we wanted, and we held down the left mouse button. And then we dragged it to wherever we want. And we notice it says move to class teaching folder. Okay. Well, what if I want to make a copy? Well, you put your mouse in it, and before you, let's see if I remember how to do this. If you hold down the control button and then you move, it says copy. Let's do that again. Okay. Well, it looks like I made a copy right here already. I copied it to the same folder, and you can't have two files with the same name in the same folder. So it added the word copy to it. So these two files are identical. They have the same date and time that they were modified, but one's a copy. And since you can't have two files or folders with the same name in the same folder, the computer added the word copy to give it a different name. I'm going to delete this file. To delete, I simply right-click and left-click on delete, and it's gone. And it showed up in my recycle bin. If I open my recycle bin, there it is. I'm going to close my recycle bin. So if you delete files or folders using Windows File Explorer, the deletions should go into your recycle bin. You get another chance to bring them back. Okay, we're talking about copying. Let me copy a bunch of files into the teaching files folder from, say, my monitor articles. I got a bunch of monitor articles. Let's do view, list view that I like, okay? If I want to copy one, I can use the box, click on it to highlight it. If I want to do another one, I can use the box and click on more than one at a time. And I can move all these at the same time. So I just put my mouse in any one of them that's highlighted, hold down the left mouse button, and right now it says move to teaching files. Well, I don't want to move, I want to copy. So I'm going to hold down the control key. Then I'm going to drag, and notice the number 4 in there. That's 4 files. And I come over here and it says copy to teaching files, and let up the mouse button. Now the files are still here because I've made a copy. But if I go to teaching files, there they are. So let's copy some more so we have a whole mess of them. Now, if you don't have the checkbox, you can click on one, hold down the control button, and click on the other ones that you want. So you can see that the checks are made in the checkboxes as well. But you don't need the checkboxes to move or copy more than one at a time. Now, I may have highlighted some of the same ones again, but that's okay. Now I'm going to make a copy, so I hold down the control key, and now I drag and I move it over to the teaching files folder. And it says 5, you see the 5 in the box? Copy to teaching files. And let up the mouse button. And oh, evidently some of the files are duplicates. So yes, I want to replace the ones with the same names. So a couple of these 4 files, 4 of them have the same names as ones I've already moved there. So I can say, let me decide for each file, or no, replace them, just replace them. So it now has replaced them. Okay. Now let's say you want to copy a bunch of files. Let me turn that off. There we go. That are contiguous. In other words, you've sorted okay, where's my scroll bar? Where something's wrong there. I'm sorry. View details. There we go. Okay. I don't know how I got goofed up there. Okay, these are my monitor articles. I want to go back to teaching files, and I have a bunch of files there. Hopefully they're all copies, so I can play with them and delete them. You could do this too, when after class, you can create a folder, copy things into the folder, and then play with it and not worry about deleting a file that you're deleting permanently because you've only made copies to play with. Okay. So if I want to copy contiguous files, I click on the first one, I hold down the Shift key, and I click on the last one, and it highlights all of them in between. So that's why it's so handy that you can sort your files by Microsoft Word documents, for example, and you can copy all your Word documents at once or delete them all at once. How do I do that again? You click on the first one with the left click of the mouse. You hold down the Shift key and you click on the last one, and it highlights all of them in between for moving, copying, or deleting. You can do it backwards too. You can click on one file hold down the Shift key and go up and click on the next one. And it highlights all of them in between. And now I can do these commands. I can delete these files. I can share them with somebody else, which we won't get into now. I can rename the files. I can paste the files somewhere else, or I can paste the files here that I've already copied from somewhere else, or I can make a copy. So if I do these commands up here and I decide to make a copy, I can open up another folder. And I can do for some reason, I don't think I copied them. Let's go back to teaching files. Okay, I want this one. Hold down the Shift key to this one. I can right click and I can do a copy. But I should be able to do that up here as well. Hold down the Shift key. Now, I think these commands are subdued. I don't think it really copied. Yeah, I guess it did. It's funny I couldn't paste it. I guess I could paste it here. It's teaching food. And I paste it again. Okay. When you copy something, it goes into a mysterious place in your computer called a clipboard. And it stays on the clipboard until you copy something else. When you copy something else, it replaces what was on the clipboard with what you have now chosen to copy. So basically, you can have only one thing on the clipboard at a time. One copy command. And then you can paste it multiple times. This works the same way with a Word document. You can highlight text and copy the text, and then you can paste the text multiple times, different places in your document or other documents. And you can continue pasting what's on the clipboard over and over again until you copy something else. Then what was copied before on the clipboard is gone, and the clipboard is replaced with your latest copy. Are there any questions so far? Any questions from anybody?
Jim, I'd just like to make a comment.
Please.
When I move things, what I do is select them, then right click and move them to where they're to go. And then it says copy or paste.
Yes.
And you can do whatever you want at that time. So it's much
Correct.
simpler than doing the other thing, I think.
Very good. My normal way of copying and pasting files and folders is to highlight the files or folders I want and then to right click instead of using the menus.
Yes.
I right click because I'm using my mouse anyway. If I left click on a file and then I right click on it, I get my menu. With Windows 11, you get the most popular commands up here, but they're also here. Show more options. Get all kinds of options. Copy, rename, whatever. Let's try a rename. Let's say I want to rename the sunset photo. I can right-click on it. Oops, I'm sorry, sunset photo, there we go, right-click. And I get the menu. And it looks like I don't get the thing at the top. I don't see where rename is because it's working with the photo. It's giving me options for photos.
Click on show more options at the
And
bottom.
I sure will. There we go. And then I can, this is down here. I can delete it, rename. There it is. Rename. Now it highlights the name, but not the extension. That's a good thing. Can you rename the extension? I wouldn't advise it. Keep the extension as it is. And then you can just start typing. Type whatever you want. And then click outside the box and it has taken the new name. If I click on, double click on it to open it, bloop, bloop, it'll open the photo viewer program. And there's a beautiful sunset untouched. Just turned out really nice. Okay. So yes, just to review real quick, the way I like to play with things and move things around and do things with different files or folders in File Explorer is I right-click on the folder or file I want and find the option of what I want to do there. And remember, if I click copy, it copies it to the clipboard. And it keeps it here. It's made a copy on the clipboard. So I can open up another folder. And in this folder, I can click paste. Notice carefully that the paste option is dark. It has a dark clipboard, whereas these options are gray. They are light gray, and that goes for all kinds of menus. If you have a dark menu option, it means you can do that option. So I can paste. I can't cut or copy anything or rename because I haven't selected anything to do that with. But I have something on the clipboard, so I can paste it. And there it is. Notice the clipboard is still dark, so I can paste it again somewhere else multiple times if I wish. Okay, let's see what else here. There's so many things. I want you, the important thing is I want you to be able to go to Google and ask Google, how do I rename a file using File Explorer or in File Explorer? If you specify whatever it is you want to do and include File Explorer in your question, it will target with videos and will help you do things in the File Explorer. If you just say, how do I move a file? How do I rename a file? You may not always get the File Explorer window instructions of how to do it. Okay, so we did rename. How about deleting a file? Well, if you go to a file that you want and you right-click, you can left click on delete. Click. And it's gone and it went into my recycle bin. What if you want to delete a whole bunch of files? Well, again, you can click on one, hold down the shift key, click on the next one, and it highlights all in between. And now you can use the delete button up here, or you can right click and you can left click on delete, and it will delete all 5 and put them in your recycle bin. Okay. One more thing I can show you. You remember the boxes allow me to click, 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 and click whether the files are together, contiguous, or not together, not contiguous, just by clicking the box. You can do the same thing without the box by clicking on the file that you want, hold down the control key, and click on multiple files or folders. If you make a mistake, click it again and it turns it off. Click it again and it turns it back on. So you can select the ones that you want, let up the control key, and now you can do whatever you want. So to repeat those 2 keys, the shift key and the control key. With the shift key, you select contiguous files or folders that are together in your listing. With the control key, you can click on individual files or folders to select them. So that's 3 different ways of selecting a file or folder. You can click once to do one. You can hold down the shift key to select multiples that are contiguous, or you can select one, hold down the control key, and select others, whether they're contiguous or not. Okay? So we did the main functions. I tried to demonstrate the main functions that most people use File Explorer for. That is, you select your file or folder, you can right-click, you can copy that file or folder, put it on the clipboard. You can rename that file or folder. You can delete that file or folder. And I'm not sure what the difference is between delete and cut. I think delete removes it. I don't know what cut does.
It removes it also.
It removes it also. Is it the same as delete? I think so.
Probably, but I don't know that.
Probably, yeah. But there's so many other things you can do with File Explorer. Don't forget the path name up here is helpful because you can go to any folder in the path name, so you can go backwards or forwards in your path name. You can click on a folder over here to get the contents. The views I like are large icons or detailed list. And this works with photos too, people. If we go to photos, documents, pictures, go to pictures. This view in pictures is large icons for pictures because I can see the folders and see the pictures. By the way, it's helpful to have a picture of your driver's license, your insurance, your health card, and anything else. It's helpful to have those photos on your phone so that if you need to reference them quickly, you don't have to dig in your wallet. But anyway, the same thing happens here. I can click on any folder or file I want with the boxes, or I can click on one, hold down the Shift key and click on the last one, and it highlights all of them in between. Or I can click on one, hold down the Control key, and click on any other ones I want, and make multiple selections for move, copy, delete, whatever it is you want to do. So I think what I want to leave with you on this, and we'll open up for questions, of course, is that you should be able to move things around. You should be able to create a new folder anywhere you want, move any files you want into that folder. You can move them or you can copy them into that folder. And you can rename them and delete them. The purpose of all this is to get you organized on your computer, so you don't have to search for a file every time you want a file. You should know where your stuff is. And just like your photos, your files and folders in your computer, you should go over them every year and go to open each folder and delete the files and folders you no longer want. It will save you space.
Jim,
Are there any questions?
yes, I have a question about quick access. What is the function of that, quick access?
Say that again. It wasn't very clear in my ears. I'm sorry.
What is the function of quick access?
Click. I didn't
Yeah.
understand what you said after that.
Access, quick access to the top screen.
Yeah, Jim, this is Drew.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand that last word.
Access.
In
She said,
in File Explorer, on the upper left-hand side on the left is the quick access area. And those are items that are pinned for being able to access more frequently. They're kind of like little bookmarks. If you go up to the very top, you have a quick access area inside your home area.
Right.
There it is.
And
So
you
my
see all of
question
those,
is,
you see all those items that have pins, and you can pin items in there if you'd like.
oh, okay.
That's a good question. I'm sorry I didn't hear you. I'm having problems with my hearing aids or whatever.
It's okay. So,
good.
so does that mean it's quick access for individual things you put there? Or,
Anything.
okay, file in a document, etc.?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Now,
You can put folders there. I'm not sure if you can put individual files there.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
okay, that brings up a good point. You may think, Jim, why didn't you talk about the pin folders? I think I mentioned them last class briefly, but I want to caution you. And that is, if you put something in your quick access, or or if you pin something to the folder quick access that shows up first, and you start depending on that, you've lost where it really is in your folder configuration of your folders. So when I go to documents, yes, I can click here and get documents, but generally I want to always go down to documents and find it in my folder list and click on it there, because I want to know always where documents is located in my folders. So if I pick a folder like the class teaching folder and I pin it, pin to start, Okay.
Well, not pin to start, pin to quick access.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Start, we'll put it on the start menu.
Yeah, thanks. You're right. Thank you so much, Drew. Pin to quick access. Okay. Now, if I start completely over again and I open up File Explorer, what did I do? Teaching files? That's in the quick access now. But now if I do this to get to teaching files, double click, yeah, I'm there, but I've lost the path name in my head. It shows it up here that, oh, teaching files is in the STUG folder. See? If I go directly to a folder because it's pinned, that's fine. But then you're not reminded where it's really located. I'll tell you a quick story. There's years ago when I was working for a living, there was a lady that was doing, well, she was a secretary and accessing the same files over and over again. And what she did, she didn't realize it, but she was clicking on most recently used files. And she would always go to the files she wanted by going to most recently used. Well, one day she had to access 10 or 12 new files that she never accessed before. And those files became into the most recently accessed file list. So when she went back the next morning, she couldn't find her files that she normally found in the quick access folder list because it was listed as most recently used. They were no longer there and she couldn't find them. So we had to do a search and go through different folders and finally find the files that she wanted. So you can do a search. There's nothing wrong with that. As I mentioned last time, when you do a search, make sure you're in the folder that you want to search. If I do a search here, it's only going to search the teaching files folder. So I really need to be in documents to search all of documents. Other questions? We have another minute or two. Seeing that there's no questions, I want to wind up by reminding you, well, first I want to thank you for attending. We had a good attendance today. My second comment is I really hope it was helpful. Maybe it brought to light a few things you can play with or experiment with on your own. Try pinning a file or folder. Try quick access. Try navigating through some files and folders. Create a new folder. Copy or move some things into it. Delete files and folders. Rename them. Practice, practice, practice. And you'll find the best way that's for you to use it. Right-clicking is always very helpful. And don't forget to ask Google, how do I blah, blah, blah in File Explorer? And our next class is going to be in November. It's going to be November 11th, and it's going to be about free Windows security. If you have Windows, you have a very good security system built in. You may not even realize you're using it, but it's there. We're going to talk about Windows security. That's on November 11th, Tuesday from 10 to 11. Watch for the news on the class. There'll be no second class in November or December because of the holidays. There will be only one class in November and one class in December, and it will be the second Tuesday of each month. And watch for my notices that I send out. New people are always welcome. And I can't think of anything else. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Good class. Thank you very much.
I'm
It's
glad it was
most
helpful for
appreciated.
you.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jim.
oh,
That
one
was a great
last
class.
thing. The class summary and the video of the class They're being recorded, and as soon as they're available, I'll send them out to you in an email, okay?
Hello.
Thanks, Jim. This is
Okay, thank
very
you,
helpful.
everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care, have a
Thank
good
you.
week, trick or treat.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye
bye-bye.
now.